Today I want to share with you what we did to this nearly useless cabinet directly in front of the sink on the Grand Design Imagine series travel trailers. It's a very simple and quick modification that I'm willing to bet all of you watching can do yourself. It only requires about $1.50 in parts, and you probably have all the tools you need to do this modification already. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to RV Tips and Travels. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer. In our trailer, we have this cabinet right in front of the sink basin. It's tall and shallow, which lends to things falling out when you open it, especially after a drive to a campground. And with no real way of separating what you put in there, it basically for us turned into a junk drawer. With the sink directly behind it, there's really not much you can do to get more space out of it, but we did modify it a little bit and we wanted to share that with you guys today. The cabinet is 19 inches wide, so what we're gonna use is a 5/16 inch dowel rod. We're gonna cut that down to 20 inches, which if centered will leave a ½ inch on each side past the cabinet. Now you can use as many dowels as you want. We're gonna use 2, and you can space them out however you want, but something to keep in mind, this cabinet is 3 inches deep, so anything that you're going to put in this cabinet is only gonna be able to be 3 inches deep on one side, so you wanna make sure that the top dowel is at least 3 inches or further away from the top of the cabinet so you have space to get things in and out easily. I'm gonna put one dowel 3.5 inches up from the bottom of the cabinet, and I'm gonna put the second dowel right in the middle between that dowel and the bottom of the cabinet at 1.75 inches so everything is symmetrical. Using a 5/16 inch drill bit, we're going to drill holes on each side of the cabinet. One side's gonna be about a ½ inch deep. The other side's gonna be about 1 inch deep because we're gonna need to push the dowel rod in further to get it into the other side without bending or breaking it. Next, you can test fit the dowels by putting the side in with the deeper hole, push it all the way in. You should have enough room then to maneuver it over into the other hole, and make sure that your dowel rods fit before you move forward. You also want these to be a little bit loose inside the hole, so what I did is I put the drill bit back in the hole and just moved it around in a circular motion a little bit, just to widen that hole just a little bit, because we're gonna eventually put wood glue in there. Make a small mark on the center of the dowel. It only needs to be barely noticeable after you paint it or stain it, and I'll explain why we're doing this in a second. Next, you'll want to clean up the splinters that you got from drilling the holes, and you can use a color match marker to clean up the edges in and around where you drilled those holes as well. Once you know they fit, you can paint or stain these dowels if you want to. We used an ebony stain. I have a lot of this stuff left over from other projects. This is what matches on the early Imagine series trailers. You can leave the dowels untreated if you want to. It's really personal preference, but no matter what you do, if you do stain or paint them, make sure they're dry before moving on to the next step. Next, I'm gonna put masking tape over the holes that we drilled. I marked the center point of the actual cabinet itself by putting a piece of tape up and marking it at 9.5 inches because my cabinet is 19 inches. Then I'm gonna take some wood glue and put that on the end of the dowels and put the dowels back inside the holes. The tape will keep the wood glue from getting on the cabinet, and you can use a wet paper towel to clean off any wood glue that is still on the dowels that's visible. Now, once your dowels are in, you can center those dowels by finding that mark that you made on your dowel and make sure it lines up with the center of the cabinet. Just spin it so the mark is on the back side where you can't see it. Now is also a good time to remove the tape while the glue is still soft and clean anything up that you can. But if you still get some glue on there that dries, you can just use your marker to cover that area up. I'll show you the finished product in just a second, but if you've enjoyed this video, please click that like button. It really helps us out, and we hope that you consider subscribing and turning on notifications. And here is what the final modification looks like. Subtracting the time it takes for the stain and wood glue to dry, this only takes about 30 minutes. It's an easy mod to help utilize some poorly designed space. We would love to know what you guys have done with this cabinet yourself, so let us know in the comments section. That's it for today. Until next time, happy camping, guys.